What's up, fight fans, and welcome back to the Roger Report. We're kicking things off with a massive story that's got the MMA world buzzing: the potential UFC event at the White House. Conor McGregor has thrown his hat in the ring, claiming he should headline this historic card against Michael Chandler. But hold on, because two of the biggest names in the sport, Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen, are shutting down that idea, saying the main event should be reserved for an American champion. And speaking of Conor McGregor, his recent political aspirations are also making headlines, but not in the way you might think. UFC legend Chael Sonnen is calling out McGregor's bid to become president of Ireland, dismissing it as not real and questioning if the campaign ever truly existed. We're diving deep into why Sonnen believes McGregor's presidential run was nothing more than a publicity stunt. We're staying on the topic of the monumental UFC White House event because the rumors and plans are heating up. Dana White is aiming for the baddest card of all time on the South Lawn, and while McGregor is pushing for the main event, other legends like Jon Jones are also being discussed. But with security concerns and logistical nightmares, will this historic card even happen as planned? Finally, we've got a story directly linking McGregor's past with a current grudge match. Artem Lobov, a former close friend and teammate of McGregor, is gearing up for a fight against Khabib Nurmagomedov's protégé, Zubaira Tukhugov, a fight that stems directly from the infamous UFC 229 brawl. Lobov is convinced that despite their fallout, Conor McGregor will be watching this intensely personal fight. You won't want to miss any of these explosive updates. Make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell on. The White House card is on. We got it done today. That's the electrifying declaration from UFC CEO Dana White, setting the stage for a monumental event that could rewrite MMA history. The proposed UFC White House card, slated for July 4, 2026, to celebrate America's 250th anniversary, has become the most talked-about event that doesn't even have a date or a fight booked yet. Naturally, the biggest names in the sport are clamoring for a spot, with Conor McGregor himself staking his claim to headline the historic occasion against Michael Chandler. However, this dream matchup has hit a roadblock, as UFC legends Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen have publicly pushed back against the idea. Cormier, speaking on Good Guy/Bad Guy, argued that McGregor headlining would be too big of an ask, suggesting the main event should feature an American fighter in a title bout to truly honor the significance of the venue. Sonnen echoed this sentiment, emphasizing the symbolic importance of the White House setting. Instead, they've proposed a blockbuster rematch between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall as the ideal main event, a fight that would celebrate American MMA royalty and deliver a massive draw. The ripple effect of these discussions is immense, with fans debating the merits of McGregor's star power versus the symbolic weight of an American champion headlining. This debate highlights the delicate balance the UFC must strike between global appeal and national pride for what promises to be an unprecedented event. Don't go anywhere, because the drama surrounding Conor McGregor's potential return is far from over. Next up, we're diving into the bizarre political aspirations that Chael Sonnen is calling out. Well, there's one problem with that, Conor. You were never running for president of Ireland. That's the blunt assessment from UFC legend Chael Sonnen regarding Conor McGregor's recently withdrawn bid to become president of Ireland. Sonnen, speaking on his You're Welcome podcast, has cast serious doubt on the legitimacy of McGregor's entire presidential campaign, labeling it not real. The Dubliner had announced his withdrawal from the race after careful reflection and consultation with his family, but Sonnen contends that McGregor never actually had a campaign, supporters, or raised funds to begin with. This skepticism comes in the wake of McGregor's scheduled questioning by Dublin City Council's female representatives regarding the outcome of the Nikita Hand civil rape trial, a meeting he ultimately pulled out of just hours before it was set to occur. McGregor's withdrawal from the presidential race, following a jury's finding that he raped Nikita Hand and awarded damages, has fueled speculation that the impending scrutiny may have played a role. While McGregor has shifted his focus back to the octagon, with plans to fight Michael Chandler at the highly anticipated UFC White House event, Sonnen's comments add another layer of controversy to the Irish superstar's recent activities, suggesting that even his political ventures were more fiction than fact. But is McGregor's return to the octagon as guaranteed as he thinks? We've got the latest on the UFC White House event and who really deserves the main event spotlight. The White House fight is on. We got it done today. Dana White's declaration confirms that the UFC is indeed planning a historic event on the South Lawn of the White House for July 4, 2026, celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States independence. This event, dubbed by White as potentially the baddest card of all time, is already generating massive buzz, with top contenders vying for a coveted spot. Conor McGregor has made it clear he wants to headline against Michael Chandler, marking his highly anticipated return after a lengthy layoff due to injury. However, the main event is far from settled. UFC CEO Dana White has expressed doubts about Jon Jones' availability, citing a 1,000,000,000 chance of him competing, despite Jones briefly coming out of retirement upon hearing about the White House card. This uncertainty has fueled speculation, with many, including Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen, advocating for Jones versus Tom Aspinall as the true main event, celebrating American MMA talent. Logistical challenges, including top-tier security and a worthy lineup, are still being ironed out, with renderings of the proposed venue already unveiled. The event's exclusivity is also a factor, with White hinting at a limited number of attendees due to security concerns. While fighters like Sean O'Malley and Kayla Harrison are also rumored to be in contention for spots on the card, the focus remains on who will ultimately headline this unprecedented display of combat sports at America's most iconic address. And speaking of heated rivalries, the echoes of UFC 229 are still reverberating. Get ready for a story that connects Conor McGregor's past directly to an upcoming grudge match. Of course, when I fight, the world watches. Whether you like me or not, they know my fights are exciting. They are good to watch, they are emotional, everybody loves my fights, including McGregor, so, of course, he'll watch my fight. That's the confident assertion from Artem Lobov, former close friend and teammate of Conor McGregor, as he prepares for his upcoming grudge match against Zubera Tukhugov, a protégé of Khabib Nurmagomedov. This fight is a direct extension of the bitter rivalry between McGregor and Nurmagomedov, stemming from the infamous UFC 229 brawl. Lobov, who hasn't competed in MMA since 2018, sees this bout as a personal mission, stating, "This was a fight that was on my mind for the past 7 years." He aims to settle the score, recalling Tukhugov's actions during the UFC 229 aftermath, where Tukhugov attacked McGregor. Lobov is adamant that despite their current legal battle and fractured relationship, McGregor will be glued to the screen, witnessing Lobov seek revenge. This personal vendetta, set against the backdrop of one of MMA's most intense rivalries, promises an emotional and explosive encounter, proving that the fallout from UFC 229 continues to fuel compelling matchups years later. And that's a wrap on today's top stories. But don't go anywhere, we've got a lightning round recap and your full call to action coming up next. And that's a wrap on today's breakdown. We've covered Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen shutting down Conor McGregor's White House main event claim, Chael Sonnen dismissing McGregor's presidential bid as fake, the latest buzz and potential drama surrounding the UFC White House card, and Artem Lobov's conviction that Conor McGregor will watch his grudge match against Khabib Nurmagomedov's protégé. You've got all the inside info right here on the Roger Report. If you loved this breakdown, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for all your MMA news, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. And hey, drop a comment below and tell us your dream main event for the White House card. Follow us on all social media platforms for even more exclusive content. We'll see you in the next one.